How's it going?
Good. Really good.
Nice. All right. I think I'm recording. So I'm ready to go.
Yes.
Awesome. Oh, wait, I even have some questions for you. So to start with, you have your own YouTube channel, right? And you seem like you're putting out a lot of stuff right now. I'll just plug that.
Yeah, official Jon Fitch. I do videos and I have a podcast that I live stream so people can comment and, it's interactive a lot of times. I usually have been doing guests and interviewing guests, but I also do just shows because I want to talk about stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I also have
you have a premium show now too, though, right? Because you put out free content on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And then, so you have a lot, actually. You have your Instagram, you have your YouTube, you have jonfitch.net, your website. Mm-hmm. Then you have your YouTube channel with your free content. And then now you also have some premium content, right?
Yeah, putting up some premium content up on Rockfin. So I have been doing some technique stuff. I'm going to do some maybe food blogs, stuff like that. And then I am doing a show with this girl, Leah Lee, this woman, Leah Lee, called Boomer and Toots. And we talk about current events and current topics from like the masculine side, which is my side, and then the feminine side, which is her side.
That's awesome. Yeah, I checked out a little bit of... You guys did it like an interview on your YouTube channel, and I checked out a little bit of that one, and it was really funny because you get like the Jon Fitch single dad MMA fighter perspective, and then you get the Leah Lee like beautiful woman in Silicon Valley perspective. So it's like it's kind of a show for everybody because it's like I feel like men and women would totally be into that one.
Yeah, so. It's two completely perspectives and point of views. Like we came from completely different lives and childhoods and different sexes and different experiences. So it's we have a lot of fun. We decided to do it because just hanging out. She's been helping a lot with my Instagram also.
Nice. Yeah, that was like how I scheduled this was through her. She's awesome.
Yeah. And so just working together, we have a funny banter and we go back and forth and argue different sides of things, but we never like get upset or mad. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah, totally. I'm just going to rattle off some stuff about you for people who don't know. John Parker Fitch hails from Fort Wayne, Indiana. He has a professional MMA record of 32 wins, 7 losses, and 2 draws. Currently on a 5-win streak, and you have been winning since October 2015. And your last fight was a draw against Rory McDonald at Bellator 220. I watched that fight. What happened to that? Did you end up contesting the draw, and like how did that turn out? Or
there's no contesting with these commissions. Okay. You're never gonna overturn a bad decision. No, it was what it was, and I kind of was just sitting around waiting for the tournament to get over and see if I could get a shot with the winner of the tournament. Lima won, but instead, they're having Lima fight Masasi at 185. So that fight's not even really available. So I don't know if they give me a title contender fight, that would be cool. But we also have this lockdown going on. So I don't know when anybody's going to fight again.
Happen. Yeah. And why did you end up leaving World Series of Fighting PFL? Because weren't you the world champion of that? I watched that fight too. It was Jake Shields and you at New Year's Eve.
Well, that was their last. I mean, I fought Jake Shields. I think that was one of their last or their second to last show
as World Series of Fighting. Yeah. So and then they turned into PFL. They
switched it to PFL. So technically, I wasn't the champ. So like when I fought Brian Foster, like it was a 5-round fight. Supposed to be a 5-round fight, but I didn't have a belt.
Did you lose your belt just because the company reorganized?
Basically, well, the way their new business structure is every season you lose your title because the season starts over again. Yeah. So like
that's weird.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like the formula is actually really good for up and comers, right? Because you can make a name for yourself,
rise up through the ranks in 1 year, and you're
make a good chunk of change, and now you've got a bankroll to fund
launch your career, start your side business, train, and wait around for whatever.
If like Lance Palmer, he's past the point where he should be there. He needs to move on so he can make more money at a basically in the UFC, because they're the only one that's really going to pay big money. He should be able to have the opportunity at pay-per-view money. And the only way he's going to do that is if he leaves PFL and goes to
graduates.
UFC. Yeah, basically.
Basically. So that's kind of like MMA high school at this point, like PFL.
Because they've put a fixed ceiling. There's a glass ceiling. It's a fixed ceilings on your earning potential. Like no matter how good you
do really well one year, you get $1 million, and then you basically have to move on.
Well, you could win 5 years in a row and you get $1 million every year. But like if you went to the UFC, you're making $5 to $10 million a fight because you're getting pay-per-view points or whatever.
If you're in the lucky 1%.
Yeah. And then if we actually had the Ali Act and we had more of a free market with contracts, and we had sanctioning bodies who control the titles instead of the promoters, the pay would go astronomical anyways, because the money's there. It's just the promoters keep almost all of it.
Okay, so how is that going for you too? Because didn't you have a class action lawsuit against the USC for exactly this kind of stuff, like labor?
Their business model is illegal. They're running the WWE's business model, which is pro wrestling, but that's not a real sport. You can't put these type of restrictions on real sports. It's not legal. So we've sued them for the way that they have operated and managed things. And we're 5 years deep into the lawsuit.
How's it going? You were certified as a class already?
Not yet. We are waiting.
So you're working on. It's taken 5 years to get certified as a class.
Yes.
Wow.
Because they just stall it out because they're printing money.
Turn real slowly.
Yeah, their business model just prints cash out. So they're making a ton of money as they slowly go through this. So they just keep stalling.
They're not. Nobody's making anything with the shelter in place.
That's why they keep desperately trying to put on these shows, is because they have a lot of debt. Like the WME, who bought UFC
Endeavor.
When they bought them from the Fertittas, they acquired a lot of debt. So they have to keep producing these shows, otherwise they're in trouble.
And I'm just going to say that that's not atypical of startup businesses or media businesses. Most of them are funded on debt. Like even if you look at Amazon Prime or Apple TV or any of those huge streamers that are investing literally billions of dollars into acquiring content in the last couple of years, it's like, that's not profits. You know what I mean? That's investor money.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not atypical of a sports or a media company at all.
A lot of businesses in general. I think that's
like startups in general. Yeah,
the market is kind of fishy. It's a lot of ghost money.
Right. That's how that works.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see what else. You're 42, which is
almost
considered
100.
A dinosaur in MMA years, right?
Anything.
Like I was looking at your fight record. You had your first pro fight at the Nevada Regional against Mike Pyle in 2002. So you've been professionally MMA fighting for 18 years. That means there's pro MMA fighters who are as old as your career.
Mm-hmm.
So but you're doing great actually, because there's people who your age who are trying to fight who haven't won anything in like 8 or 10 years. Whereas you're actually on a 5-win streak for the last 5 years.
Yep. I still haven't lost. I hit a bump in the road. After getting cut with UFC, I started having some injuries and financial issues. So I was struggling to perform at my best through that time. And then when I finally got things kind of settled, after the
suspension
and the loss to Pilares, kind of pulled my head out of my ass and got back on track. Started doing things, the right way, and got past some of the bullshit that was holding me back. And I've just been on a roll for a while, but I'm just so tired of the bullshit game of, popularity contests. And I want to play a sport, and I want to get paid for doing well in a sport.
How's the new house? You seem like you're doing a lot better now. You seem super healthy, super fit. You just bought a new house and remodeling, building your own studio in there, building your home gym. I have my studio
here, and because my truck doesn't fit in the garage, so I was like, what am I going to do? Just have this empty space in the garage. So I bought mats. So half of it's matted. I got wall mats. I got a freestanding heavy bag. I got my weights, and then I got my little recording studio here. So I've got We got a nice little setup.
I kind of did the same thing because I was coming off of surgeries and I couldn't get to the gym. And so I had like elliptical, stationary bike, yoga mats, free weights, and so I felt like so lucky that I was like prepared for this shit, like, cause then now people are trying to set up their home gyms and they're like, people bought up all the dumbbells and kettlebells. I can't order anything online.
Mm-hmm. So I have, and I've got my 2 boys. So like we get to come out here.
So now you're homeschooling and you can do PE.
I can turn off the electronics too. And I'm just like, hey, let's go in the garage and just whatever. I got rings hanging from the ceiling so they swing around. Yeah, it's a good time.
Nice. And your boys they're studying jiu-jitsu with...
They are under Ron, yeah.
With Ron Kessler, with Tomas Diaghi's.
I think 3 or 4 stripes now. I think they're 4 stripes now.
Whoa.
So nice. I think the next one, they get a colored belt and they're excited about that.
Do they train with Tomas Diaghi's boys? He's got 2 boys and
a little bit. Well, they just
classes.
started when this stuff kind of started happening. Yeah.
I saw them coming in the gym. They're so cute, all 4 of them in their little kimonos. It's so awesome. It's like the next generation of AKA fighters coming up already. It's so badass. Are you gonna have them wrestling?
I think pretty soon. Like we've been. I think that's one of the things we're going to do for our PE time is I'll teach them a lot of wrestling stuff here.
So people don't know that you have a wrestling background, right? You wrestled for Purdue, right? With my old wrestling coach, Alex Coriano. I think he's at Stanford now. But he's a little bit older than you, right, Alex? Yeah,
he graduated before I got to Purdue. So my senior year of high school, he was a senior there. Yeah, so he was. Nice. He was a team captain then, but then I had.
Oh, Alex was?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
He was team captain his senior year, and then he moved out to California. I think it was Chicago and then California, and then I met him kind of when I was thinking about moving out to California. He came back for a senior night, and we hung out, and I exchanged numbers, and I kept in contact, and then I ended up getting a job when I first moved out here. I was at a bar in Mountain View that was like 2 blocks away from his house.
Is that the bar? Tony told me that some friend of his that he went to elementary school with owned a bar that you were the
pool hall.
Were you the DJ and Cain Velasquez was?
No. I was security and
you were the door guy.
That was Benji and some other guys that we were DJs, but we worked the door. But like there was a pool hall, no one ever came in. I think it was just they might have just been whatever washing money.
Oh, is that kind of pool hall? Okay.
Well, I mean, it was a nice one in a nice neighborhood, but no one ever came in there. And I was like, how the hell?
Right. Do you own the building?
Are you ever
is
open?
This? Yeah. Money
so laundering. I think they would just come in every once in a while and have cash and just dump it in the register and dump out some alcohol and.
Right. Cook the books.
Yeah.
Nice. So you were working there, and how I lost the connection to Alex somewhere.
Well, it's just because I worked so close to his house, I was able to stop over, but at his place a bunch before work, and then his girlfriend at the time, wife now, would cook food, Puerto Rican food, and I'd get to eat something other than eggs and ramen noodles.
Doesn't he have 2 boys too?
2 boys, yeah.
All of you can start a soccer team or an MMA team. Mm-hmm. How's Bellator? Nothing. You're just waiting.
No, I mean, I really like Bellator. I like they're doing a great job, put on great fights, great cards. Everybody there is great to work with. Scott Coker's awesome.
Richard Chu, he came through the gym right before it closed.
Yeah, Richard. I mean,
they were planning like a big thing in San Jose for May.
Yeah, I have no issues with Bellator at all. They've been great to me. I just would really like
just some fight. Shitty judges on that one decision.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. I mean, my thing with that is until there are clear cut, clearly understandable criteria for scoring, you're always going to have arbitrary decisions like that.
A lot of people have been talking about how we need to have higher standards for MMA judges. Mm-hmm. Like, especially like a lot of them don't understand grappling.
My thing is, that's the thing though, is if you, if the judges don't have criteria to judge off of, then like, it doesn't matter if they know what they're, it's just opinion then. Cause like some
or
guys
if it's completely different state to state.
One guy may value grappling a lot more. One guy may value submission attempts more. One may value just going berserk and strike, whatever. So like it's arbitrary. It's really up to what that person decides. There needs to be criteria. Like any sport or any game you play, you open up a board game. It's got a list of rules and instructions on how to play, and anybody can take it who knows how to read and follow it.
Like,
so like there should be clear cut.
They have part of it is technical and part of it is artistic, so
that would be at least some type of breakdown.
Right.
Like there's not really anything. It's just, who do you think won?
Right. I think it's a 28. No, I think it's a 29.
Yeah.
But what does that mean? And then how do you feel about open scoring?